I've got a great story for you. It's called the Sweetest soccer match. Once upon a time, nestled among the ancient ruins, lived Bearon the Royal Fluff. Bearon was a very special bear. His fur was a deep sky blue, as fluffy as a cloud, and he wore a sparkly crown. He ruled his kingdom with fairness, snuggles, and of course delightful tea parties. Bearon loved tea parties, especially when they were held outdoors, under the warm sun. He could predict the weather by how fluffy his fur became. When it was extra fluffy, that meant a big day ahead. His royal scepter wasn't just for ruling. It doubled as a honey dipper. One sunny afternoon, as Bearon was preparing for a tea party, with tiny cakes and even tinier sandwiches, he heard a whoosh and a pop. Peachy the Lollipop Witch zoomed in on her fizzy soda broomstick. Her dress was a bright pink, and her hat was a giant swirled lollipop. She was a very creative and playful witch. "Bearon, my friend," Peachy called out, her voice high-pitched and cheerful. "I've made a bit of a candy spell blunder." Bearon, whose fur had become extra fluffy that morning, knew this was no ordinary day. "Oh dear," he said in his calm, noble voice. "What seems to be the trouble, Peachy?" Peachy explained that she had been trying to cast a spell to make the world extra sweet, but the spell had gone a bit wonky. It seemed her candy spell had reached the soccer field, turning everything into delicious sweets. The soccer field? Bearon wondered. He loved soccer too. "Oh my," Bearon said with a little worry in his voice, as he knew Lucas would be really disappointed to hear this. "We must do something." Peachy looked at Bearon. "Where should we start?" Just then, a little boy with a bright smile ran towards them. It was Lucas, who loved playing soccer. He loved building things and playing outside, but he didn't like being alone or loud noises. Lucas had heard the commotion, and, full of curiosity, approached. "What's happening?" Lucas asked excitedly. Bearon and Peachy looked at each other. "Lucas, you love soccer, right?" Peachy asked. Lucas nodded, his eyes sparkling. "Well, the soccer field is different," Bearon said, smiling. "Shall we go see?" They all went to the soccer field. Lucas's eyes went wide with amazement. The field was now a giant candyland. The grass was made of green gummy worms, the goalposts were giant lollipops, and the soccer balls were giant, colorful gumballs. "Wow!" Lucas exclaimed. He ran towards a gumball, but when he tried to kick it, he couldn't. The gumball was too delicious. It kept getting stuck to his foot. Peachy giggled. "I told you it was a bit wonky." Bearon, being the wise bear he was, knew they needed a plan. "We need to find a way to play soccer without eating the field," Bearon said with a smile. "But how?" Lucas wondered, looking at the sweet soccer field. They tried kicking the gumballs, but they were too sticky. Bearon tried using his honey dipper to scoop the gumballs, but that didn't work either. Peachy tried a spell to make the gumballs less sticky, but it made them explode into a shower of sprinkles. Just when they were starting to feel a little sad, a new friend, Maya, arrived. Maya, seeing the situation, had an idea. "What about another ball?" Maya asked. She held a ball made of fabric that had the same design as the soccer balls. "Let's kick this one," Maya shouted. "Yay!" Lucas shouted, and they started to play with the new ball. But the candy field remained. Bearon thought hard. Then, a light bulb went off in his fluffy bear brain. "I have an idea!" he exclaimed. "I'll knit a giant blanket." Bearon was famous for his knitting skills. He could knit tiny hats in his sleep. He gathered his knitting needles and his favorite deep blue yarn. He started knitting, his paws moving quickly. It took a while, but soon, Bearon had knitted a huge, cozy blanket, large enough to cover the entire candy soccer field. They carefully placed the blanket over the field. The candy grass disappeared, and underneath was a normal, grassy field. "Hooray!" Lucas cheered, happy to see the soccer field restored, along with Maya. They all played soccer on the now normal field, having the best game ever. Even Peachy joined in, giggling as she zoomed around on her broomstick, cheering them on. After their game, Bearon decided it was time for a tea party. He set up a beautiful table, with tiny cakes, sandwiches, and cups of tea. They all sat together, enjoying the delicious treats. Peachy looked around at the happy faces. She realized that sometimes, even though mistakes happen, they can lead to the sweetest times when shared with friends. And Lucas? He was the happiest boy in the world, having his fun, playing with friends, and celebrating with tea. He loved the big blanket, and the friends the best. He learned that even the sweetest problems can be fixed with a little help from friends, a lot of kindness, and a touch of fluffy magic. The end. Let's see what a great listener you are. Can you answer the following question? What was the problem with the soccer field? Let's see how you did. The answer is, the soccer field was made of candy, and the soccer balls were too delicious to play with. You did a great job. I hope you enjoyed this Storypie tale. I'll see you next time.